At daybreak on April 3, 2026, Oriana Sabalenka checked her social feed, anticipating a flood of highlights and ad deals. Instead, she froze mid-scroll. The top-ranked athlete, riding high after clinching both California and Florida titles, an elite milestone reached by only 5 legends, finally hit 5 million followers. She now reigned as the game's most popular active star, overtaking Maria Sharapova and stalking Serena Williams' digital footprint. This record seemingly solidified her total supremacy. Yet, reports surfacing from Linz, Austria, painted a wildly different picture. Roughly 45,000 Filipinos flooded the modest town of 200,000 people. They weren't there for the champion, but for 20-year-old Alexa, currently 45th in the rankings, a dark horse without a major title who just slid down from 29th place following a tough defeat. Alex had sparked a global fervor. Watching the clips, Sabalenka couldn't believe her eyes, as endless blue, red, and white flags rippled. Chants for Alex thundering through the alleys of a venue totally overwhelmed by thousands who'd flown across the world to witness the teenage star. Suddenly, the sports leader faced a harsh realization. Power in the Pro Tour wasn't strictly measured by trophies or online metrics. True impact meant stirring a nation's heart, forging a bond that no data point could ever quantify. The facts stood clear. Sabalenka owned the 5 million clicks, but Alexa possessed a deeper magic. A movement that transformed a quiet European town into the pulsing heart of Philippine spirit. Finally, Sabalenka understood being overshadowed not by skill, but by the raw devotion of the global fanbase. Sabalenka's digital army had swelled past 7 million, quickly gaining on the sport's all-time greats. Standard metrics labeled her the tour's undisputed favorite. This online empire was built with precision. It was forged during her peak seasons, marked by 8 major finals and multiple trophies, alongside a barrage of victories that turned her into a global icon. Away from the net, her engagement news alone pulled in over 1.2 million hearts, as her trendy clips and personal vlogs made the superstar feel approachable to every fan. Each upload was a calculated move to boost her image, yet the chaos in Austria defied every spreadsheet. Around 45,000 supporters swarmed into Linz, a town of 200,000 hosting the local Open. Every room was booked, and every cafe jammed with crowds screaming for their hero. They flocked from Vienna, crossed borders from Germany, Switzerland, and Italy, and the British Isles wherever planes flew. The arena only held 5,000 seats. Still, the outdoor mob was triple that size. The disconnect was jarring. Sabalenka commanded 7 million digital ghosts' vast reach without a physical soul. Conversely, Alexa had 45,000 souls actually screaming her name in the flesh. One was just a metric. The other was pure, unadulterated worship. Within 6 months, Sabalenka jumped from 3.8 million to 7 million, setting a record-breaking pace on tour. Her ascent was a blueprint for modern stardom, precise and clinical. Yet no code could account for the tsunami of support Alexa generated, a cultural explosion that shifted the very center of gravity toward Philippine glory in a quiet corner of Europe. Data counts, sure, but the fire of being there, that's a different beast. Why would 45,000 people overrun a town of 200,000, clogging every street and hotel? Why did those cheers for Alex drown out the sound of the actual game? The truth is deep. Alex isn't just an athlete. She's a beacon for a global diaspora. For her followers, a match is more than just sport. It's a moment of belonging and cultural visibility. Sabalenka's reach is massive, fueled by smart tactics and charm, but it lives behind glass and keyboards. Alexa's fans are a living, breathing force that packs terminals and occupies hotels, turning a sleepy Austrian tournament into an electric atmosphere, reminiscent of a world championship showdown. Pro announcers and court officials alike are stunned by this massive shift in atmosphere. One official remarked that whenever players from the Philippines hit the court, the arena transforms into a rowdy Davis Cup showdown. This isn't just about a solo athlete, it's a nation screaming as one, a raw energy that no social media follower count could ever touch. Sabalenka holds the trophies, but Eala is a cultural uprising, an unstoppable force that's dominated every conversation lately. From sellout crowds in Dubai to the gear-selling madness in Miami, her arrival in Austria has made this reality impossible to ignore. We aren't looking at mere publicity here, it's a total phenomenon where a 20-year-old ranked 45th is rewriting the rules of fame and sporting influence. While online statistics might track her fame, they fail to grasp the intense fire and global loyalty that trails her everywhere she goes. What drives 10,000 souls to trek all the way to a tiny city in Austria just for a 500-level tennis event? Why are these people dropping thousands of dollars on airfare and lodging, burning through their vacation days, and flipping their entire lives upside down just to see a 20-year-old without a single major title? Marketing pros point to one simple truth: soul-deep connection. To the global Filipino community, Eala isn't merely a pro athlete. She's a living testament to what's truly achievable. She serves as living evidence that a kid from Manila can stand under the brightest spotlights and finally be recognized. She's the personification of the migrant dream that grit and sacrifice pave the way to greatness. With over 115 million Filipinos back home, the global community expands with millions more professionals, from Dubai's nurses to California's engineers and Canada's healthcare workers. This massive worldwide network lacked a tennis icon for ages, but now they finally have Eala to champion. On a recent podcast, John Isner kept it blunt. The scale of this fanbase is massive, and most people completely missed it. A new queen has emerged in the women's circuit. As Johnson noted, she is operating on a level that nobody else can touch right now. She is drawing a whole new audience into the sport, sparking a national pride that goes far beyond what any scoreboard could calculate. Paul Annacone, who once guided Roger Federer, pointed out exactly why Eala is in a league of her own. Her presence alone is magnetic, with a smile that just commands the entire room, he remarked. I find the fan culture fascinating because when an underdog nation rises, that support isn't just loud, it is absolutely electric and deeply felt. From the courts of Miami to the heat of Dubai and now in Linz, this Eala effect has moved far beyond internet hashtags or marketing jargon. This is a physical power. Grandstands are packed, flags are flying high, and every single point feels like a massive cultural festival. You cannot manufacture this level of human bond through simple tournament seating, nor can any corporate deal or ad campaign buy it. It's raw, it's heartfelt, and it's changing the game. Now, the entire tennis hierarchy is being forced to reconsider what it actually means to be a true sporting icon. This unbridled intensity is vibrating through Austria, where the audience isn't merely watching, they are the main event. Banners are everywhere, and her name echoes through the alleyways, making the city of Linz feel alive with anticipation. However, when word reached Aryna Sabalenka that 45,000 people were swarming this tiny town just for her rival, she kept her public response ice-cold and professional, stating that she appreciated the growing interest in the women's tour. Alex clearly has a dedicated fan base, and I acknowledge that, she added briefly. Behind the scenes, however, insiders hint that these staggering attendance figures have touched a very sensitive spot. She spent a lifetime grinding for major titles and battling her way to the top of the global rankings. Fresh off a historic Sunshine double win and boasting 5 million social media followers, the most of any active female pro, she expected to be the center of attention. Despite all that, an unproven player sitting at world number 45, who actually slid down the rankings after a brutal defeat, is commanding an audience that the world number 1 can only imagine. This glaring disparity hasn't gone unnoticed, leading Sam Querrey to raise a pointed question on a popular tennis show. Could this kind of lopsided fame breed resentment among the elite? John Isner brushed it off, claiming he saw no real envy there. He called it part of the business, but anyone who knows Sabalenka's fierce drive knows she doesn't like coming in second. Her goal has always been total dominance in the points, the trophies, and arguably, the public's adoration. Watching Eala's popularity skyrocket while her own matches sometimes lack that same feverish energy is a bitter pill to swallow. This clash between professional merit and raw charisma is hurting her ego in ways that no trophy can soothe. While she usually keeps a lid on it, whispers of her growing annoyance have started to leak out. Rumors suggest she's baffled by how an athlete with far fewer wins and less time on tour can inspire such fanatical worship. Still, Sabalenka's grit and fire usually drive her comebacks, but this specific obstacle feels like an entirely different animal. She must navigate a fresh era where charisma and cultural bonds carry as much weight as professional stats. While Eala readies for her clay court debut in Linz, Sabalenka isn't merely competing in a tournament. She's realizing the sport has shifted. Rankings, trophies, and online followers only reveal a fraction of the truth. The packed arenas full of shouting Filipino supporters waving their national colors tell the real story. For Sabalenka, the mission isn't just winning sets. It's about grasping a movement she cannot simply overpower. This force eclipses any spreadsheet. The Linz atmosphere is magnetic, a power no seeding or ranking can quantify. Each rhythmic chant and every flag snapping in the wind, Every shout for Eala echoes far beyond the stadium, hitting social feeds, news desks, and hearts worldwide. It proves tennis transcends mere points. It's a vessel for heritage and pride. Eala's clay history remains lean. 3 victories in 10 tour matches, no deep Grand Slam runs. Yet here, she isn't just a player. She is a revolution, a symbol for a massive global community that has long hungered for representation. Her rivals might possess more experience, more championships, and more honors on this specific surface, but they lack a fan base that feels every swing personally. This Linz Open is unlike anything before. Every single point is contested under the watchful eyes of thousands who see their own dreams in her. For Eala, this tests her composure, strategy, and mental toughness, the fundamental requirements of the red dirt. Yet it also tests her grace under massive fame. She's mentioned the heavy burden of her nation's hopes. That burden has peaked now. As play continues, every point and set won will impact more than rankings. It will stir the whole Philippines. Reaching the Final Four moves her toward the top 30. A silver finish hits 26, and a title reaches 23. Yet Eala has already won beyond any data. She has ignited a fire, proving that heart, roots, and community are as vital as gold. As the Linz Center fills with drums and noise, Alex enters. She carries a nation's dreams and a diaspora's pride, fueled by the undeniable power of the Eala effect, a trend that bypasses statistics, proving the most massive victories happen off the scorecard. The truth is unavoidable. Winning on the board and winning in the stands are not the same thing. Sabalenka owns the former Grand Slams, world #1 status, and social media fame, but the Eala phenomenon reveals a new power in the modern game: deep cultural impact. Sabalenka can win sets, but she can't fake that gut-level bond, turning a small tournament into a festival. For Eala, every match is a mission. It's a stage where her people see their own faces reflected. Every moment of grit is amplified by the thousands who crossed oceans just to cheer her on. The ranking computers might overlook her impact, but no math can track 45,000 people screaming her name or her massive viral reach. She inspires young kids who finally see themselves on TV. Sabalenka takes trophies, Eala takes hearts. In the new world of pro tennis, both types of glory are essential. For the league, the brands, and the fans, this is a wake-up call. Numbers don't define a human. The power to move an entire nation is priceless, and Alex Eala has mastered it. As Linz fills with flags and cheers, the 2026 season feels different. It's about roots and belonging, proving that tennis at its peak inspires people everywhere. For Sabalenka, it's a lesson in reality. For Eala, it's a time to shine and redefine what it truly means to be a hero. If you wish, I can detail Eala's opening match in Linz, capturing that wild energy, her nerves, and the contrast with Sabalenka's own brand of stardom. This creates a cinematic, immersive experience. Ready to proceed? The single treasure even the world's elite cannot buy is genuine, soul-deep devotion. Aryna Sabalenka, coming off a sunshine double with 4 Grand Slam titles and 5 million followers on Instagram, currently stands at the very peak of women's tennis. By every conventional metric, she is untouchable. Yet here in Linz, Austria, the narrative feels entirely different. Over 45,000 Filipino supporters have swarmed the city for Alex Eala's debut, and they aren't here for Sabalenka. The Eala effect, long debated by legends like Sam Querrey and John Isner, is now on full electric display. Pure adoration and cultural bonds are currently outshining the sport's most dominant queen. Sabalenka's fame exists behind a screen. Eala's army breathes life into the streets, chanting and waving banners citywide. Eala, ranked number 45 globally, is chasing a major title after her recent slip against Karolina Muchova at the Miami Open. Records and rankings? Those numbers mean nothing to the supporters who traveled thousands of miles to witness her play. They see their own lives, their sacrifices, and the hopes of a nation mirrored in her. Sabalenka claims the hardware and status, but Eala owns a nation's heart, a raw, fierce love that remains completely unmeasurable by any professional leaderboard or ranking system. What is your take on 45,000 people trekking to Austria just to support Alex Eala? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. Don't forget to join Rally Radar for daily WTA updates, tactical breakdowns, and stories that look far beyond the final score. Because here at Rally Radar, every day is match day. Match day.